A jury in Los Angeles just put a price on the number your team reports every Monday morning. It's $6 million. That's what jurors awarded a 20-year-old woman who said she became addicted to social media as a child and that it made her mental health worse. Meta and Google's YouTube were found negligent. Meta took 70% of the fault. The company filed an appeal this week disputing that it built Instagram and Facebook to hook young users without regard for their well-being. Here's what makes this verdict different from the usual tech lawsuit. It wasn't about a data breach or a privacy leak. It was about design. That infinite scroll, the autoplay, endless recommendations, the exact features your product team, if you're in tech, calls a win when session engagement and length goes up. So there's a shift happening. Engagement used to be the clearest proof and metric a product was working. Now it's Exhibit A in lawsuits. Think about how a plaintiff's attorney reads your dashboard. That's important these days. Rising daily active users and climbing sessions length don't necessarily look like success to them. It looks like proof you knew exactly what you were doing, hooking people. The metric that shows your product works can become the evidence that shows you knew it was working on people, not for them. This isn't the first time this has happened. 3 years before the Meta verdict, the FTC ordered Epic Games, the maker of Fortnite, to pay $520 million over children's privacy violations and manipulative design that pushed kids to have unwanted purchases. The agency called it dark patterns. The same choices that boosted revenue became the basis for the penalty. So why do smart companies keep walking into this? What's going on? Well, because engagement's easy to measure, it's immediate, it's tied straight to revenue. Whether your customers are actually better off is slow to show up necessarily and hard to put a metric on or put a slide together on. Teams optimize the things they can see and defer the things they can't. The gap between they keep coming back and they're better off stays invisible until someone outside the company measures it. In Los Angeles, a jury measured that. And this isn't staying inside social media. The same legal theory is now reaching artificial intelligence. A federal judge in Florida let a wrongful death case against Character.AI move forward, treating the chatbot as a product that has to meet safety standards. Character.AI and Google settled 5 lawsuits in January from families over teen suicides and severe harm, where the families argued the app was built to deepen engagement through emotional dependency. The same argument is now aimed at OpenAI, where parents of a 16-year-old who died by suicide say his death was, in their words, a predictable result of deliberate design choices. In September, the FTC ordered 7 companies to explain how they monetize user engagement. This isn't only an app for kids problem. Any product built to hold attention, companion apps, games, AI assistants, they all inherit the same exposure. Engagement engineered through compulsion is a liability now, not necessarily only a growth lever. Here's what I'd encourage you to do about it. First, audit your engagement metrics. Look at what's actually driving your top numbers and ask honestly whether those design choices could be harming the well-being of your users. Second, measure the benefit, not just the return visits. Track whether people are genuinely, quote unquote, better off, however you might define that, after using what you've built, not just whether they came back. Third, name your engagement features specifically. So identify the exact mechanisms that people may be hooked on and decide which ones you could defend in front of a jury as core to the experience rather than a trick to holding their attention. Underneath that meta verdict is a redefinition. Engagement used to be the asset every product was chasing. Courts are learning to measure it as a liability. So the exercise for this week, pull up the 3 metrics your team celebrates the most and ask a blunt question about each of those. Does this number climb because people get value or because they can't stop? Find that metric that leans hardest on the compulsion side of things and decide whether or not you could defend it in front of a jury. What you optimize for is what you'll eventually answer for. Make the answer about real consumer benefit, including well-being. That's the reframe, so you can leapfrog the headlines or leadership in your business. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and find me at sorenkaplan.com. And if you like this podcast, please follow it and like it.